Proxy Table Gaming fans, PTG, we are back for another battle report. I'm with Lucky Sixes. Hello, Lucky Sixes.
AKA Ron from the 70s.
Yeah, doing a adult entertainment video today.
Yeah.
I hope you're all ready for that.
I'm in my hoodie, and then nothing. Just for everybody.
Well, obviously. I'm Hyper G. I will try and keep him respectable.
I've got one of those prosthetics.
What? No, I'm not going to inquire. I've been trying to keep you respectable for 3 years. It's not really succeeding. So yeah, sweet. So
like
we're here for another battle report.
Yes,
the final one in your weekend away.
Yeah. Final one for a physical game weekend away. There's lots of UBs going around, which is good, but can't beat the physicals, I'm afraid.
No, I think that's generally the consensus that people have agreed on. Not most opinion is that playing the game on the tabletop is still better. Whilst thankful for UB, of course.
Yeah,
cool. All right, what we got?
We've got the beasts versus the vampires. So you've seen both these armies if you've kept up to date, and if you haven't, why not? There's no excuse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No,
God's sake.
There actually isn't. There isn't actually an excuse.
So this is back to my beast herds, and the vampire army, played by Paul, is the one that played against the vermin swarms.
Okay, and since then, I believe we've been told that the coolest part of Paul's list might not be legal.
Yeah, which is true. And we'll get into that. But
yeah, okay, we will get into that.
I think even if I knew, I'd still let him do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty cool.
Because that's cool. But yeah, so it's my beast herd army that I took for the weekend. 2-up armor, Evo General Krugar with his Hawthorne's Curse, and spells between them. 2 Wild Hornhound ambushers and 3 Raiden chariots with some Mongol raiders to make up core. Long Hornhound ambushers, 10 centaurs, which are like was the ultimate glass cannon. Strength 7, but no armor. It's fantastic. 5 gargoyle scouts, 2 lots of raised tusks, not herds, just the rest.
Just herds, singular.
2 beast giants and 2 Gore-Tax.
Sweet.
Vampire Covenant, it's 3 monstrous reverend vampire courtiers, pretty naked, but 4-up armor, strength 5, res 5, so pretty cool. 2 necromancers, both masters, which is again very cool. 35 ghouls, 33 skeletons, ghasts, bats for chaffing, horrors for horrifying.
Pretty horrifying.
Yeah, he said the big thing that he wants to change is that he needs another scoring unit because the ghasts don't do that.
Sure.
So he's only got 2, which does let him down, as it did in the last battle against the vermin swarms.
Yeah.
And then obviously the other thing is the vampire courtiers, and he was trying to work out, they're about 300 points each, so he's trying to work out whether they're worth it.
Not much.
It's not, but it's 900 points in total that he's putting towards it. So it's just how much the rule of cool works, I think, is that.
Can they be upgraded any more than that? 900?
Oh yeah. They can. But
I was going to say that seems cheap for a vampire still.
Yeah, I think with the 2 master necromancers, they must be about 300, 350.
Yeah,
at least.
or at least. So, yeah.
I'm not sure he's got the points in total, but they can.
Sure.
I think the idea is to keep them cheap because they're still pretty good.
They're not the Lord characters, are they? They're not the higher level ones. Yeah, so they're slightly less cool, killy vampires, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So whether or not he would, I'm not sure he would if he could.
Sure.
Marching columns, which was interesting, and spoils of war, which was equally quite interesting. Because most of my scoring stuff is off the board, which is quite fun. But yeah, so there we go into it. So what happened? I think he dropped to go first, is what I want to say.
Oh, rude. Marching columns is 3 first. But...
Yeah. Yeah, sure, but we did a bit of back and forth, and then but yeah, so basically, I remember being able to counter. So whether or not he dropped for first or dropped for second might be a thing. But my big thing was I wanted when he put everything down, I wanted my centaurs out the way to try and go for that other spoil. The idea would so they're not so they're starting off as drunk, so they're starting off so they're not light troops now,
Okay.
which does mean they don't as they don't have a musician. They're sort of pretty one-dimensional at this point, but
You can get a musician, though, can't
yeah,
they?
you can. I
them.
just haven't taken them for this.
It's unusual for you.
Well, I didn't take it because most of the time I don't start them scoring. I start them as light troops, and if you start them as light troops, you can't get scoring for the rest of the game.
Okay.
So I wanted them scoring for Spoils of War, especially given a potential opportunity to get a spoil here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the other thing,
Paul has pretty much said, "I'm not getting that one," hasn't he?
Yeah.
His only hope really is to stop you getting it.
Again, having 2 scoring means he can't get 3 anyway.
Sure.
So I'll put the what they're called raiders there just to plink away, but really they're not doing anything this game.
No.
The other thing I wanted to do was put Krugar against his vampire courtiers, because I think because of my armor, if I charge him, he's only 2 up, AP2 or something, and I think I go first even if I go first. Or something. I take away a lot of their strength and bonuses for charging things, and
you can just duel them one-on-one for like the whole time.
Yeah, I'm really good on the charge. I think I would wipe one out on the charge. So
and even off the charge, you got the totems to cast to back you up.
Yeah, right. So I wanted him against them. Otherwise, I just put most of my stuff in the middle to go for his to combo charge, because I need to be combo charging. But yeah.
Well, you do excel at that particular tactic.
Another reason I think he went first is because I put my general way back, and I think that was to keep out of Evo range.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. We'll see. So this is
Evo's
Vanguard.
usually about 24 inches, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but then he can move and stuff as well. So yeah. So Vanguard in I think I gave him. So he's movement 7. I think I get 8. This was 18.1 away. So literally double 6 he gets in. So fingers crossed. And yes, he went first. Whew. So his plan, he only sort of shuffles up, because he knows his Evo and Alchemy can take away my monsters pretty nicely. So he shuffles up to basically get into position to get the left spoil, and to basically stop me getting anything on the middle spoil with ghasts. Ghasts, unless I get everything in, it will pretty much take away most of my stuff. And
as you say, you have actually only got 1 scoring unit on the board at the moment, haven't you, as well?
Yes. Yeah. So his main one is the left one, because obviously that's the easiest one for me to get to with the thing. So it's interesting. He silver spikes 2 of them because they're a thing. Wanting to, I think they're fearless, so they don't panic, but just to get them down in numbers.
They're not fearless.
He molten coppers the the centaurs.
Centaurs.
Yeah, they are.
What? Because of the drunk.
Because they're drunk. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, so they get molten copper on them, and I just let that go because I don't really care about the chariots. Sorry, chariots. I take in, because I went second. I take a 10 charge. Obviously, I only get 2 dice, which I think I was playing. I just don't think I've been saying it right for the most of the thing. When I put 3 dice,
a line of 3 dice is easier to demonstrate a line, isn't it? Whereas just 2 dice is just a throw.
So if ever I put 3 down, it's not because that's what I need. It's what I'm going to use. It's just to show the die on the actual game for myself. So not to worry too much there. So I take a 10, hoping to get in.
Of course, yeah. There's not a lot of downside to that. Trying that, is there?
And I do. Yay, whippity-dippity.
Great. There you go. There's no downside.
Yeah, them being strength 3, they're just fishing for 6s. Obviously, they'll wound every time they do, but the poison and whatever, they're fishing for 6s. I move everything else out of line of sight of this vampire.
Revenant.
He's split up now. Which was one of the things someone told us, and
Yes.
he didn't do for the most of the game, to be fair, which is good. But you can't put them together as
because of towering presence, isn't it? Yeah,
which is a shame and boring.
But
but yeah, so everyone apart from Kruger, who is 17.9, so leaves him an 11, because I need to be 18 inches for my Hawthorn Curse.
I see. Yeah.
So yeah, and
you didn't want to go 17.1 though.
No, it didn't matter, does it? that extra 0.8 inches.
You varied it up a bit.
Yeah. So that's where he is. Everything else moves pretty aggressively forward towards his bunker.
You stuck a whole herd towards his gust.
Yeah,
a whole herd.
So the Razor's Tusk on the right is chaffing them so they can't charge me. But everything else just moves forward. I had. After the Vermin Swarm game, I was like, right, I do have two options. I could play it conservatively, or I could go gung ho. But I would have to really commit if I went the gung ho thing, and that's kind of what I tried to do.
Yeah, his other two vampire characters, are they deliberately facing backwards for your ambush?
Yes, for the ambushes and stuff. Obviously, that's one turn too early, though.
Yes.
So yeah, although that is something I want to change, I want to be able to ambush turn 1 with my list, so which is a thing. But yeah, so that's where we at. Aggro, biatch.
Good stuff.
I move up.
At least he's not divination this turn. This game.
Yeah, but Evo's pretty bad. Evo's got some bad things as well, like auto wounds. They move up, get ready to take the spoil, and just run, run, boys.
Oh yeah.
I Touch of the Reaper is alchemy mage off.
Oh, that's cheeky.
Which obviously it can do D3, does 3, does 10. Yes. He let it off, thinking I wouldn't kill him.
Well, the odds are in favour of that, because you've got to roll 3 wounds and you've got to fail to roll ones on your wounding. So
I can't. I just looked out, and he went, "Oh, that's a bit shit."
Yeah.
I get 2 spells off on the giant as well.
So the one in combat.
Yeah, I think I was trying to do wounds elsewhere. I got a lot of I got big phase, and I was trying to do lots of wounds elsewhere, and he put all his dice into one of the other wound spells. So I can't remember what it was.
Hasten the Hour?
Yeah, possibly. I think it was, because that was like every character in his unit would take a wound, and you wanted to stop that one.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So then I got
with the totems, you can get like 2 dice spells off, can't you?
But I got Spectral Blaze, which is reroll to wound and lethal strike, which he let off, obviously.
Yeah.
And then I had 2 dice left for either +1 attack and AP, which is just the extra attack on the giant, or which Tony suggested I should do is the initiative. And I was like, I don't want to do the initiative because I'll take loads of wounds and then take the attacks. But actually, he said it's for the second round, because that if I go first on the second round, I'll have all the attacks from the wounds he does this round, which makes sense. So
I can see that.
So I said no, Tony, don't be silly, and then thought, oh, he's right.
Then you slapped him.
Yeah, he's right.
and then you regretted your decisions.
But yeah, so
So is this your formal apology to Tony?
No, I don't apologise.
Oh right, okay. Oh, fair enough.
I might regret, but I don't apologise.
Or say that he's right, you know.
I said he's right. I'm not apologising.
No, I know you did. I'm not denying that.
Come on, mate.
Whoa.
Screw you. Don't make me apologise. No one makes me apologise. I pew-pewed.
Of course.
And I got a wound off. I think 1 or 2. I can't remember. But
it looks like a 2 dice is going on.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's counting down. But he normally counts up. So let's say 2. I think it's 10 Yeah, 10 wounds with the giant.
10 crosses.
Take 3 in return.
That's all right. That's good.
And obviously, he.
Is he 8 wide? Yes, he is.
Yeah. So I got charge.
7 wide.
No, 7. Yeah, charge and 10 wounds to make 11. He's got 3 wounds and 2 ranks. So, and he loses some more. And I'm like, oh, all right, cool. So that's good.
There's no counter charge there, is there?
There's no counter charge, which is nice. It means I just get to plink away at some ghouls. In his turn, he charges, takes the bait.
with 3 dice.
He fails. Oh, it was 70. You were right. It was 17.1.
I knew there was something fishy about that story.
Yeah. So, but he fails it. It's only an 11, which is very lucky.
Did he fail it by 0.8?
He did, yeah. And he moves up to basically protect his general.
Yeah, the bat time.
But also,
those horrors have come in.
But also put the horrors up because obviously they're in range to fire.
Interesting.
So his plan is to chaff everything. And basically try and get the Gore-Tax down to we don't care about you. And he's got 6 on each wounding, I think on 3s because it's strength 10, discipline 9. So he can do some serious wounds to me here. My Gore-Tax out of the thing.
He's not chaffing to stop you get into them though, is he? He's chaffing to speed bump you on the way.
No, but if he speed bumps me, then his ghasts on the right can swift reform and
and he would get to scream at you in combat in his turn.
Yeah, so he's got.
So
you can scream in combat any turn.
I know, but with the counter charge of the ghasts, basically, yeah.
So
whereas if you just charge directly, you attack on your turn.
Yeah, and there can overruns and things like that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So that's what that is. He screams and needs both to take 1 Gore-Tax down, which I was at least I didn't. He didn't one-shot one and have enough for the other. So
he'd have to do quite well to one-shot one, though, wouldn't he? Because isn't it 6?
6 3-ups. It's not out there.
It's only 3-ups, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 3-ups because it's discipline 9, strength 10. So
out the realms of discipline 9. Yeah. That's cool.
Not out.
They've got something going for them.
They've got a lot going for them. They're just no armor is a big big downside. He's dead. And my guy goes to town, mainly because he does 4 wounds to me.
Ooh, yeah, the big brother helping out there.
Yeah, leave me with 1, and I've obviously got all the spells, and my Thunderstomp does 6. I crumble him.
Yeah.
I do like 15 wounds and then crumble him. It's just madness. But yeah, yay.
2 right.
And obviously it's my turn next.
Yeah, that's juicy.
So,
okay, you go that way. Yeah.
This is So I charged Krugar because I'm pretty sure he can do the business,
especially against just one. Not the non-dueling would.
Yeah, exactly.
Would matter. It's a good matchup.
Yeah. I thought about charging my my giant at the back straight into his bunker.
Yeah, I mean that's tempting, but with only 1 wound.
Yeah, but my thought was at this point, I'm going to put him into the Shrieking Horror, and then when all the other things charge and go into him, then I'll do that attack, that thing then, and then I will charge into the bunker anyway.
If he survives the combat,
yeah. So, but I'm going first in all the combats, and I'll have my giant, my bottom giant on here is going into effectively the front of the bats on the left, but that then takes him into the Shrieking Horror as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I could have everything into his leftmost Shrieking Horror.
Yeah.
Which
is good.
I don't know what the odds are, but I've got to do 6 wounds. I should do that.
I would think so. Yeah.
So everything goes in, taking away his chaff, taking away his thing, his Shrieking Horror, my hope is, and then to get a few things into his bunker.
Yeah, great. It's looking alright.
Yeah, I used the gargoyles to chaff the ghast again from any counter charge.
Yeah.
Although I do realise that the other shrieking horror has ways off and stuff, so I haven't really done anything. My longhorns come on and come from the left to get the spoils. Now that he doesn't have the ghouls, he has his only other scoring unit is his
they're trapped behind everyone
bunker.
as well.
Yeah, so they go there. I kind of think, well, I've got that. I'll hopefully have that one. I'll hopefully have the centaur one. I don't need to go for the central spoil.
No, you just need to keep that one on the flank. Really.
So my other two come on and basically move up to try and shoot the other, to just plink some wounds on the other vampires.
Yeah, and just keep them out of the game as much as anything else.
Yeah, well, they're flyers, so I can't really do that, but just see if I can get some wounds off, basically. It's just start plinking. This is the resulting thing after the bats are dead. So I go.
Okay, so you got both horrors in.
No. The horror on the right is.
Oh no, there's a gap between them.
Yeah,
there's a gap between them. Yeah, sorry.
So I managed to get
that
this.
was pretty impressive to charge two horrors.
Yeah. I suppose the big talking point here that Paul didn't think I could do, and I thought I could do, was overrun twice. So my thought was, if I put him in this position, I can charge the bunk. So let's say I kill this guy, this horror.
Yeah.
Which I'm going in thinking all the attacks is a given.
You've got a decent shot, right? Yeah.
I've got 12 attacks from the top giant, 5 attacks from the bottom giant, so 17 attacks at strength 6. My gore attack is impact hits at strength 6, 6 attacks at strength 6 with battle focus. Like, I should do 4.
You've got D3 impact hits on the way in as well.
Yeah, so my thought is that what I'll do is I'll do this, and because everything else is already fought and the top giant hasn't, we'll fight this now, and then I'll overrun again, and I'll put there's enough space to put my gore attack and razor tusk into the front of the bunker, the top giant into the side of the bunker, and this bottom giant into the shrieking horror. Means that it can't move around and do shit. You still do stuff against my giant, but I've got 8 wounds. I actually prefer him to kill.
It doesn't spring to mind any rule that says you can't overrun twice.
Yeah, so Paul thought you couldn't, and I think there is something that says you can't.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to fight that combat because the giant isn't in there yet.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
so that,
we spent a long time looking at rules and stuff for this, and came to the conclusion that you could overrun twice. But I don't. I want to put that out there to people to clarify.
Yeah,
that
let us know. Let us know, guys,
if
you can clear that one up.
Because obviously
I agree with you. I don't think there's any. I'm not aware of any rule that says you can't overrun twice.
Because my thought was you could, and then he was like, "Oh no, you definitely can't." I was like,
"But Paul's very good on rules, so
yeah, that's what I mean.
I wouldn't dismiss it out of hand."
So if you could clarify that, guys, for us, that would be great.
That would be good.
Just help us out.
Paul is very, very good at rules. I have to say, of everyone I've played, like Paul knows his stuff. So
yeah. So I do kill it, but as you'll see, he kills
that giant.
Giant.
Okay. Yeah.
Which means I didn't kill it with attacks. Because he went
he went decided to
last.
Kill you with his scream. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but all of my attacks didn't do 6 wounds. Which meant he
a bit frustrating, actually.
I think he had 2 left, and he just popped my giant.
Yeah,
I was like, man, because a giant with 12 attacks going into the side of skeletons, I mean, pops his skeletons. Which actually,
unless they get that lucky 6 off against you, but yeah.
Yeah, which made me semi-regret not going into them straight away. Although the possibility of the Gore-Tex and Razor Tusk overrunning twice wouldn't have happened if the giant hadn't gone in. So I don't know.
So here you've got your blue lines out. Obviously, if the giant on the left overruns first, then he blocks the other 2.
So I wouldn't.
Obviously you're not going to do that. But if either of the 2 at the bottom overrun not enough to get into the skeletons, they block the giant. So you got a bit
no.
of a choice there.
So
No?
the options. The reason I did this. So if any of them fail, if any of the bottom two fail, then you roll them all at the same time.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
And then you move them afterwards.
Okay, so you would know what you were dealing with
because
before
basically
moving.
the reason that is because you'd have to maximise and stuff.
Yeah, and it's an instant running, isn't it?
Yeah, so they're all at the same
time.
time. So I'd roll them all at the same time. If one of them
Gotcha.
failed at the bottom, I'd just move them last.
Gotcha. Yeah.
The giant needs a 4, I think, 4 or 5. And the others need an 8 to get in. But we'll take a pause there. And Krugar does do.
Keep us in suspense.
Yeah, Krugar does what he does. I think I put an extra attack on him as well, just to make sure. They all get in. So I haven't taken a picture apparently. That's why I think.
Sure.
They all get in. The Riz Tusk and Gortak into the bunker, and the giant into the Shrieking Horror, which means he's there. The one thing I didn't see, and Paul admitted that he didn't see until this moment, was the possibility of the vampire charging in through that tiny little gap on there. And obviously you can do that because you're...
you can get as close as you like on a charge.
Yeah. He charges my Gortak, which was unfortunate because he'll do some damage there.
Just looking at it, it's really tight, but
it's very tight. It's very tight. I don't know whether there are any other rules in that, but it was opportunistic.
If that gap is exactly 50 mil, then he's in.
Yeah. So he charged my Gortak, and I was like, okay, that might be
make things a little bit trickier. Yeah.
But I didn't do any wounds to them with my shooting either. And I'm fishing for 6s, but I was hoping for 1 or 2, you know. He charges and kills the raiders.
Well, they had it coming.
I thought about fleeing and making him
cause him a fail charge,
but then he would have got further because he wasn't. I don't think I could have got out of the way unless I got a big roll. So I was like, I'll just stand there and speed bump him. But I'm not sure that was the best thing.
What turn is this? Is this 3 or 4?
His 3.
Must be. Yeah. Okay.
Charges and kills the gargoyle.
Yeah.
So this is a blurry picture of the Shrieking Horror.
Oh, I've just figured out what happens.
Winning against the giant.
No.
Making my giant run and
catching
it.
Did you do any wins to it, or not get the chance?
I think I did 2.
That's a bit poor showing, isn't it?
Yeah, I was gutted, really. I was just
went to town with its scream against you.
Yeah. But yeah, so there you go. And that's how it looks afterwards. I did a few wounds to this guy, but he smashed my Gortak. Like, he did all 6 wounds this turn as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, God. So that was a bad...
This isn't going as well as it could have done, yeah.
So I've just got my Res Tusk in to do some wounds to there. Again, on hindsight... Well, I mean, he killed me, so I didn't really have any choices to make.
No.
I don't know. The
thing is, if you don't overrun with the Gortak and the Razor Tusk, they're just standing there for the Shrieking Horror.
Yeah, right.
I guess your giant could have then gone straight forward, but if that repeats itself and the giant dies, then the Shrieking Horror's running into them.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't see the gap, and I didn't see the thing, so I didn't ever see it as a problem. But I was gutted to kill me in 1. He's got like 7 attacks, all in all. I'm like,
at least strength 7 as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so I sort of move around because there's not a lot else for me to do. Or is this his turn? No, this is my turn. And my Res Tusk loses the following combat and runs.
Yeah.
But does survive, interestingly enough.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's where we stand, I think. Or that could be then, actually. Yeah, that was then. So this is the him killing my Gortak, and then my Res Tusk runs, and he chooses to run this way. That's what happens. This is how everything looks at the end of his turn 3. So going into my turn 3. I haven't got a picture of it, annoyingly, but my Longhorns go into the side of the wounded Shrieking Horror.
Yep.
My Gortak, my Krugar also goes into him as well, to sort of make double chance to kill him. My Restusk rallies, and my general moves up to try and Evo snipe his general.
Yeah.
My what they call chariots go up to chaff the Gas again, just chaffing them, trying to stop them doing what they're doing. And thankfully for me, because of spectral blades getting off on my halberd longhorns, I killed a Shrieking Horror and
nice.
am as you see me here.
Yeah, that's good.
I needed a 5, I think. Oh no, I needed whatever I needed. I got 1 less to get into the bunker with my longhorns,
sure.
which is getting. But otherwise moved up to get some wounds off. I don't get these wounds now against. So I think I needed 1. He had 1 loon left, and I moved up these guys to try and get the last wound. I just couldn't do it.
Sure.
Good. But yeah, that's where I end up. I don't Evo his guy off. He stopped everything from me getting any wounds off on him, which was a shame. And this is what it looks like over on this side as well. Again, moved up my my wild horns to try and plink away. Don't get any wounds again. But my centaurs just go as far as possible that way.
Yeah.
Leaving my long charge. I think he needed a 10 or something. Longish.
He might hunt you down though.
So he charges my wild horns. And gets in.
He's facing that way.
Yeah, he chooses not to charge my longhorns, which I think is fair. I think, but then charges the chariots to get rid of them.
Chariots, yeah, they're toast. Yeah.
He chooses not to charge here, but puts himself in a position, because I don't have a musician, to be able to...
He knows you're not swift reforming.
Yeah, all I can do is reform. So he puts me in a position to be able to charge both if he wants to. And any movement I do on the right means that I can't get away.
Yeah, you're not getting out of there.
So, and this is how it looks. He moves back with his skeletons, in fact.
What's this terrain piece? Not that it makes too much difference now, but the forest.
Which one? What, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a forest,
yeah. I don't know why that suddenly came into my head to ask you.
Yeah, forest, hill, impassable, just a mat. He Evo snipes my Krugar.
No! Is this his first death?
Don't know. No, I don't think so. I think I died in the Warriors battle. Early days, but yeah. But Krugar, but he's done all right. Krugar's done okay.
Did you get down on your knees and go, Krugar?
Yeah, something like that. I think he's worth 400 odd points, and he's killed a Shrieking Horror and one of the vampires. So I effectively got his points back.
Yeah.
But obviously I'm just dropping stuff like flies.
You are dropping, yeah.
I think they hold on their steadfast, which is cool.
Okay.
And we'll carry on that. He doesn't kill me outright, but he gets me down to pretty much dead, and I lose and run, but get away by
status,
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much dead.
But they are well out of General's range as well, of like being able to, and they're like discipline 4 or something. So swift reforming and not charging and things like that. I'm not sure whether they got frenzy actually.
Don't know them enough to know. Sorry.
I charge my Longhorns and Razor Tusk into them, just hoping to see if I can whittle them down before the end of the game. At least get the skeletons, and if not, try and crumble the general.
Yep.
I flee and take another wound to Dangerous Terrain.
Okay.
And at the end of this turn... Oh, yeah, he's got 4 wounds, that's why. I do a wound to him, finally, in combat.
Okay.
But I lose and run. And he
means you get half points though. So.
Yeah, chases me down, and
half points of him is probably actually what your unit's worth, though, isn't it? There or
50. No, I'm probably a bit more. I think I'm 200 odd. But
maybe a bit more, but
still. If I just got 1 wound in all of those shooting,
in the shooting,
rounds, Very blurry picture, but going in, I do a bunch of wounds and crumble him a bit, but nothing else. Again,
that's not your general, is it?
That's my general. I want to keep him close.
He's literally legging it across the battlefield, isn't he?
Well, he was only there.
I know, but from where he started, turn 0.
He's right. He's got ranger's boots.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. So do a bunch of wounds.
Say no more.
But we carry on fighting. I was trying to snipe him, just couldn't snipe him. He moves his vampire up here to get a flank charge. Moves him even closer because he moved him to a good position, but it was a long charge.
Yeah, basically. Still like 7 or 8 at least.
Yeah, and I've moved my wild horns to feign getting a spoil because obviously I'm not going to get a spoil with the gas there.
No.
And I've basically with the longhorns I've gone for the general rather than the spoil, so I'm trying to win that. He punks my general in 1 like I did his alchemy mage, so give and take again. It was just like.
Gosh, give and take this, isn't it?
But he's got Evo Magic, man, is killing me. Like having no Aegis is really killing me at the minute. So I think that's gonna. I mean, every army pretty much I've come up against has Evo Magic, so it's one of those. But it's killing me. Right, so they're very blurry pictures. So I'll stay on this very briefly, and then I'll move over. In fact, I'm just going to move to this one because it's a better picture. So he punks my general. I do a bunch of wounds to him in combat though, and get him down to. So I do so many wounds that I get him down to having 1 wound left on his general after crumble.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
So if I'd done 1 more wound, then his general would be dead.
And everything begins to crumble or not?
Yeah. But because it's not dead. He then countercharges me with the vampire and the gas in the back, and
that's not good.
Destroys me, which is what this was showing. He also gets some other zombies off, but they're irrelevant to the thing.
Sure.
Destroys me, and I lose these 3, and I only get his skeleton bunker for it. And so I was so close to getting the general. I just didn't happen.
What happened on the right? Did you keep the spoil?
No, he killed me.
Oh.
I think it was like turn 5 as well or something. So he didn't need the turn 6 to do it. But
so it's spoils of war, and neither of you got any of them.
And no one got any spoils. Yeah, I mean, on hindsight, I could have got this bottom spoil.
You chose to go for the Shrieking Horror instead.
Went for the Shrieking Horror. I think Kruger probably could have done him on his own, but just to be sure.
That horror was on a bit of a roll.
Yeah, he'd already killed a Gortak and a giant.
And the Scream would have ignored Kruger's armor, so Kruger doesn't have a lot of defense against it.
No, exactly. So, just to be sure, right?
Yeah.
I guess another way to play it as well would be to have both my ambushing units who didn't do any of my wild horns over on that side as well, so that I can
possibly
get
you
that
could have really
spoil with
threatened
them.
that spoil.
But
then his 2 vampires would have been free too.
Yeah, but again, the other thing would be just to sit where I am with the centaurs instead of trying to run off, and just pivot myself every time, so that if he moves closer, I can charge him. And at least I've got a charge. So I think I played that pretty wrong by trying to run away.
It's very tempting. It's very tempting with so much of the board empty to run into the empty space. Whereas actually, what you possibly wanted to do was run back to where you deployed.
Yeah.
That side.
And I think if I have a musician, that's possible.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So again, a bit of list building and stuff. I think not having an Aegis on either Kruger or Thingy's an issue.
He hasn't got a name yet.
He hasn't actually. I need a name for my general. So maybe thinking about swapping either dark. I've got Dark Rain, I think it is, or Ranger's Boots on my general for Destiny's Call.
Okay.
It's one of those items I think I need to drop. But but Kruger, he's got Hawthorne's Curse, so I can't get an Aegis on him, so I'm just gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah. And he won't be dropping Hawthorne's Curse.
No, that's the reason I've got him. Yeah. So, so yeah, a few list building stuff to come up.
What was the result? I don't know.
It was A 15-5 loss because
okay,
of it.
yeah.
So
I thought it might have been closer than
straight on points. I lost so
Mm.
much. I just lost
Yeah,
so much.
I
I lost my
guess.
general, my BSB, both Gore-Tax, both Giants, both Res
Yeah.
Tusks, my Longhorns,
Chariots.
one of my Chariot. Well, I think my Chariots kept running and died. Yeah. I just lost so much.
Yeah.
I did a decent amount back,
Mhm.
which I think my list is capable of. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was one of
But of
those.
course, Paul's 3 vampire characters deployed in illegal formation, so
Yeah,
technically you won.
technically,
You
but he
know,
immediately changed it. So, but yeah,
for one turn he was illegal, so that's enough for me. Sorry, Paul. Change these on the screen. You
yeah.
usually do it against me.
No, Paul played well with his vampires.
Yeah.
I feel like I know he's done it as a bit of a cool list, but he plays well with them as well, and he plays Evo.
I don't think
well.
they lose much for being separate, to be honest.
No, I think
They're more vulnerable as
it's
individuals, but
against shooting, isn't it? The better as a unit. So,
still Res 5 covers them a bit.
yeah. I don't know. I want to say I was a bit unlucky with the Shrieking Horror not dying to all those attacks.
Yeah.
But
would it have changed much having that giant still alive on one wing?
Well, it would. Yeah, he would have had a round of 12 attacks, and potentially if they didn't get 6
skeletons,
on the skeletons, which meant later on I probably wouldn't have had to charge the Longhorns in, which meant I could have got the spoil. I don't know. I think it changed quite a lot of the game from that point, and there was points, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I was during the battle. I was like, I really thought that was it, and now that it hasn't. Oh, I don't know what to do.
Those battles are tough when you feel like you're in a strong position and then everything just starts going wrong.
And but yeah, I say Paul's like he'd never. But the good thing about Paul and that lot really, they never get phased by things, so they do carry on. And even and really, I would have said, I think even he would have said at that point, I was down to win, and he just carried on and he got a win out of it. So it sort of shows.
Never give up.
Yeah, never give up. Carry on doing it. So, but yeah, good battle. A lot to think about over the weekend from all that stuff, and we crack on really.
You have got one more battle with this list for B-sides though before you potentially look at a rebuild.
Yeah, one more battle with this list, and then we have a bit of a fun one, also we're gonna look into Infernal Dwarves and Dark Elves over the next months.
Dread Elves,
of course.
Edit. What a Dark Elves.
But yeah, just to do a bit of playtesting because we've been requested for that, so that's cool. So we've got a few lists coming at you that way, and some fun stuff. Obviously, lockdown prevents at the minute much of us getting together.
It's still really tricky, isn't it? It's still really tricky.
Yeah, we can't meet up to play, so we're working on how we're going to do those battles exactly.
We're like holding off on doing them on UB, aren't we? Because we're just in case really hoping we can do them properly.
So just in case we can meet up, but it will be tight to get those battles.
Really tight.
So
maybe just one of us needs to move in with the other one.
Yes.
But then even then, that's breaking the lockdown to do it, isn't it?
Not if we move in.
Yeah.
I don't think.
But are you allowed to move in with someone during lockdown?
Yeah, I think if you say you're now living with them, I think that's fine.
Yeah,
anyway.
I'll ring your missus and tell her that you've cheated on her, and she'll chuck you out. You'll have to move in here.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we're fine.
Well, after these prosthetics, we might not have to.
Well.
But yeah, around it all comes round.
Sweet.
Yes, so lots of content still to come your way. Basically,
we're so close to 700 subscribers. Come on,
we are. Yeah, tell your friends.
Come on.
Not enough mums have come our way.
No.
So if you could that'd be great. But yeah, lots of content. But said, bit of fun battles and some ID and Dread Elves coming your way over the next month. So it's still cracking on, which is nice.
Yeah. Lovely, sweet. So thanks for that, Lucky Sixes. We were sort of summing up, but over the weekend, more victories than losses, or not? What do you reckon? I mean, you did fight one with vermin swarms, but
Yeah, not counting that. I think I did half and half. I think I
Yeah,
had
it was pretty
two
even, wasn't it?
decent wins against the Warriors.
Yes.
A decent loss
then-
here, and then a big loss against the Vermin.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So yeah,
even split.
yeah,
Nice.
pretty even. I'm mid-table.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely cool. All right, sweet, lovely. Thanks for taking us through those. Very enjoyable. Yeah, and we'll be back with our next battle, the last one in the series with this Beast Herds list, I think. Yeah, cool. All right, we'll see you for the next one, guys. Take care.
See you later.